Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back to some more reviews. And I had done this review previously, but the review ended up being muted, and unfortunately, couldn't upload. I mean, I uploaded it, but didn't have any sound to it, so that really sucked that it didn't have any audio. I don't know why it didn't. But today, I figured I'd review this movie just because I think this is easily just one of the best horror movies ever made, and that's not even exaggerating anything. That's just straight up my honest answer with this movie. It's just one of the greatest horror movies ever, and that is Black Christmas from 1974. This right here is how you do a horror film. Right there. That's how you do a horror film. The perfect way, the right way, and in my opinion, just in a great way. Now, I do have the remake. I haven't seen this remake in years, a long time. I might mention it in this review a couple times, some stuff I have to say about this remake, but maybe one day I'll rewatch it and give it a review. And then I don't know about the new remake. That'll probably take a long time to get from the channel because I don't feel like watching that remake at all. But this one, I don't know. I remember not being a fan of it, and I have my reasons for that, but I haven't seen it in years, so I'll have to rewatch it someday and give it a review. But I do have the remake. But this film, Black Christmas, came out in 1974, gets a 7.2 on IMDb, directed by Bob Clark, who had also made another Christmas classic, A Christmas Story. And it's crazy that he made this movie, then years later he'd go on to make Christmas Story. And I believe before this he made Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. And that's actually a pretty decent little zombie movie. I actually did enjoy that movie. But Black Christmas, probably my favorite. I don't know if this is my favorite. I love Silent Night, Deadly Night. I love that movie too. But this and Silent Night, Deadly Night are probably my two favorite Christmas horror films. But this, man, is just how you do a horror film the smart way, the clever way, the right way, in my opinion. And I can definitely see the similarities in this to other horror films, to where you could tell they got inspired by this movie. I mean, you have POV shots, you have the twist of the movie, which is pretty much the same twist in When a Stranger Calls. Oh, the calls are coming from the house. Like, it's from this movie. But yeah, first of all, I want to say thanks to John for sending this DVD. This is an awesome DVD. It actually looks pretty good and sounds pretty good as well. Has a slew of features. You've got interviews, commentaries, Q&A sessions, documentaries, deleted scenes. I mean, the list goes on. Such a great DVD, and I'm very thankful that John sent me this. So big shout out to him. I'll be leaving a link in the description below to Brown Days Graveyard, my friend John's channel. Definitely go check out his content. Makes great videos. But yeah, this film's story is pretty much you have a sorority house. It's Christmas, and this character named Billy just starts, like, he goes into the sorority house. And at the beginning of the movie, you see a POV shot of this mysterious character, Billy, climbing up the side of the house and going into the attic. And the story's pretty basic. He starts stalking and killing these women in this sorority house. So yeah, very, very basic plot. I know you're going to have plenty of other sorority horror films. I know there's that movie, The House on Sorority Row, and then there's that remake, Sorority Row, which the remake sucked. You'd go on to have a lot of movies about sorority, especially slasher movies that deal with sorority houses. But here, I just thought the story was very unique still. I mean, it's not totally generic. And I will say this too. The main intention from Bob Clark was to make realistic characters, grounded characters. And I think he really nailed that in this film. I mean, a lot of the actors and actresses do a great job. I mean, first of all, you got a great lead, beautiful lead, Olivia Hussey, who is the Jess character, who's our lead. Beautiful, great actress, wonderful lead. You also have her boyfriend Peter, and they're not generic. You know, you feel bad for him because she's pregnant and he has a piano career he wants to do. He even wants to give it up to help raise the baby. Jess really isn't sure if she wants to go through with it or not. So you have a good dynamic there. You felt bad for the characters. They weren't generic. Their dialogue wasn't generic. Their acting wasn't generic. It was all very natural dialogue and realistic dialogue. You also have Margot Kidder in this movie, who's from Amityville Horror, Superman the movie. She's been in plenty of movies. Margot Kidder's in this movie, did a great job playing a pretty interesting character. You also have John Saxon in this film, from Nightmare on Elm Street, Tenebrae, Enter the Dragon, Cannibal Apocalypse. I mean, John Saxon is just a legendary actor in the horror genre. But yeah, you have a great cast. You have a lot of great scenes of just character interactions, and I even like the humor in the movie as well. Like, there's this one great scene where the father to one of the girls that goes missing in the sorority house, he visits the sorority house, and the kind of head mistress of the sorority house, there's like nude posters on the wall, so she's trying to cover him up, but she's talking to the guy. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Or the fellatio joke scene where the cop asks for the address of the girl who went missing, and Margot Kidder gives him the address and says fellatio, and he's like, "Can you spell that out for me?" And she spells it out. And then later on, John Saxon, this guy, read it, and they're just cracking up. And he's like, "What? What does it mean? It's something great, isn't it?" And it's just like so hilarious. So yeah, you got great humor in there, but it's not like too much comedy. It's just the right amount of humor. It's a very well shot movie. A lot of great still shots, pan shots. This is a movie that's legitimately creepy. With the atmosphere, with the suspense, with the characters, with the quietness. It's a very quiet, very mellow horror film. And the Billy character is so mysterious and so shadowy. You don't really see him in the movie. You see just shadows and maybe a shot of his eye, maybe a few glimpses here and there, which is awesome because it makes it such a mysterious character, such an interesting character. And I've never seen a slasher film before that's done that, because most slasher films, they show the killer. Here, it's they keep him in the shadows all the time. And it's just such a cool idea, so original, and I like that. And as far as the remake goes, I want to get into this. I have one more point that I want to say before I get into the remake. The phone calls in this movie. I remember the phone calls in this remake, and I was like, man, they're not scary. They just sounded pretty lame. They were just trying too hard to me. It just was not scary. In this movie, the phone calls are extremely creepy, because some of the things that Billy says is just so out there and crazy, and you're just hearing, it just sounds like pure hell on the other line. You're hearing multiple voices, and what I love the most about this movie, too, as far as the story goes, they don't explain the Billy character. They don't do a background. They don't do an origin story. They don't show him a whole lot. I like that. It's scary because you're getting bits and pieces of Billy's background story in the phone calls. That's all you need. You don't need to have, in my opinion, what was in this movie. It's not scary. It's not really interesting. It's just they're trying to show him as much as possible, and they're trying to give him the backstory, and the phone calls are just not scary. And I feel like the differences between these two movies is that this one's going for more like just subtlety and doing it right and having patience with its scares and with its kill scenes and with its atmosphere. It's a very, like I said, mellowed out horror film. It's a slow builder, and it's not trying to do what this movie does. To me, this movie, all they're trying to do is shock you with gore and, trying to disturb you. And it just, for me, I'd prefer this, where it's legitimately creepy, where the atmosphere, the night sequences that are shot are pretty cool, the creepy score, the creepy Billy character, the death scenes are pretty interesting, where one is like a hook, it gets put into somebody's head. You have the probably the most iconic scene from this movie is where the girl gets the bag over her head and suffocated. There's also a death scene where Margot Kidder gets stabbed by a statue or something like that. But it wasn't really, it has gore and blood in it, but it's really more about the atmosphere and the way it's shot and the characters, the dialogue, the just not treating the audience like they're dumb. And I like that, and I respect that, and I wish more horror films would do that. They don't treat their audience like, they don't know anything. Here it's just, they have respect for the audience. They don't treat them like they're dumb. And I like that. That's so cool that this movie is just a smart, clever film, and it doesn't do the generic stuff. It's really original. Like I said, the POV stuff, the phone call twist, that pretty much When a Stranger Calls is known for that twist. But that came out after this movie, and this one has that twist. And I'm just like, wow, that's so crazy. And even with films like Halloween, the opening of the movie with the POV, it's like you could really see the influence this film had on future horror films. And like I said, man, just funny moments, like the head mistress of this house, she has like little whiskey flasks kind of hidden all over the house. That's pretty funny. So the humor's there. It's not boring. It's not dull. It's got life to it. It's creepy. It's atmospheric. It's very atmospheric. It's lit well. It's shot well. The ending is very mysterious. And I just think it's one of the most perfect horror films. I really do. I truly do believe that. It's just a really solid and well-made movie. And like I said, the remake, I haven't seen it in a while. But I just don't like the direction they went. It was, let's show everything. Let's show all the gore. Let's have, these just generic characters. Let's have let's not focus on atmosphere. Let's more focus on gore and shocking moments and disturbing backstories. It's just like, I don't like that. I didn't even see this movie yet. And I just didn't, when I first seen this, I just didn't get into it, me, personally. I know there are fans of it, and that's cool and everything, but I just could never get into this remake. It's just, to me, and especially now that I've seen that film, it's like, now when I look at this movie, I'm like, this is just how you do it the wrong way. This is not how you do it, in my opinion. This is how you do it. But yeah, anyways, like I said, great cast, well directed, well shot, well made, and very, very awesome. So I'm going to give Black Christmas probably a 9 out of 10. It's a very, very solid horror film. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my review on Black Christmas. And yeah, it's been fun. I'll see you guys in the next review. Have a good night, and thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this film in the comments below. And I appreciate you guys watching. Anyways, guys, thanks for viewing the review, and I'll see you guys later. Explorer 4 is out. Bye, guys.